But here we are. It is Coffee Talk on a Wednesday morning. It is May the 24th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you're having a great start to the day. You can see in the bottom corner, we are watching the radar as there are already flood advisories that have been popping up in Central Florida. So let's get right outside and just kind of see what's doing. A live look from the Kennedy Space Center showing this gray start to the day. It is indeed a little dreary, but this isn't even the area that has had the flooding rains. There's Cocoa, there's New Smyrna Beach. We've been watching here in Volusia County the flooding rains, not necessarily at New Smyrna, but nevertheless. And then look at how much nicer it is in downtown Orlando. It really is a lovely start. Let's come over to our first warning live Doppler radar and just see what's doing here with this rain that's falling, okay? Across the metro area, we are nice and quiet, but it's here in Volusia County that we're watching those downpours. So zooming the radar in. There's the flood advisory. It's in effect until 9:15 for Volusia County. It includes De Leon Springs. It includes our friends along 92, and of course, that's more rural Speedway Boulevard that's out near the DeLand Airport. And then down here toward Kepler Road, there's DeLand, downtown DeLand, not in that. But we have seen some very heavy rainfall. Let me lapse this over the last few minutes' time. The good news is that the radar is getting quieter and quieter, but we're still watching some pouring rains. And speaking of pouring rains, let me take you over toward Port Orange, where the rain is coming down buckets and buckets. And it wouldn't surprise me if we end up needing to get a flood advisory posted here from about Dunlawton north to about International Speedway Boulevard. So just keep that in mind. If you live in this area, there's definitely some very heavy rainfall that we are tracking. Let me widen the perspective out as that live radar comes through. Some more rains kind of showing up here around I-95 in the Oak Hill Edgewater area as that live radar sweeps through. Kind of see it bubbling up here just a little bit. And then further to the south, some heavier stuff coming in around northern Brevard County. Look at that, around Scottsmore starting to pick up along the Canaveral National Seashore there, and then down toward Mims, and then back over to about the Chuliota, Lake Pickett, Lake Mills area, getting over toward Avalon Park. There's Legacy Middle School there on the left side of the screen. So we're definitely watching some rainfall, no doubt about it. It is a warm and muggy start to the day. 77 in Titusville. It's 74 in Kissimmee, 73 in Orlando. So where do we go from here? Let's take a look at our 12-hour forecast, my friends, and then we've got plenty to dig into regarding the Futurecast model, etc., etc. But there you go. Lunchtime, a couple of showers, 20 or so percent coverage of rainfall. 3 p.m., 50%. 5 p.m., 70%. 7 p.m., 60%. So we're working the rain coverage up through the day and then kind of tapering it off little bit by little bit by little bit. All right, so that's where we're at today, my friends. Any questions about the day planner? It's kind of, I don't want to say it's funny, but it's kind of something. So today is our all-staff meeting at WESH where we're discussing hurricane season, and it's also our kind of summertime party, like getting ready for summer. So, you know, we're having to try and, like, we had to move the afternoon hurricane deal in just because obviously it's not going to be what you would say the best weather available. So there you go. All right. So that's a look at the day planner and kind of the basics of the forecast. Let's look and see Futurecast. Let's dial that up, shall we? All right. So there we are. Heavy rains, especially along the coastline. Notice by 11, 12 o'clock, though, we're starting to spread that rain in more and more. And through about 1:30, 2 o'clock, widely scattered showers, some thunder showers, heavy stuff around 4:30, 5 o'clock, moving into the metro by 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock. And at least according to Futurecast, we're going to be talking about some soaking rains around the area. And then little bit by little bit, there's 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, kind of tapering it off little by little by little, and by 11 o'clock, still raining. Still raining. What about the rain kind of numbers on our future cast? Let's just take a look at the accumulation from now forward. How much rain are we talking? Well, first off, this is just today. Notice you're talking those orange shades, 3 to 5 inches of rain. And then tomorrow, adding to that and adding to that. Yeah. And at least according to our most recent run of Futurecast, like the tourist district through the metro and then back over here toward the Volusia Brevard coastlines could see significant rain. But I always say don't necessarily focus in on the locations as much as some areas, Futurecast is saying, some areas will end up getting 3 to 5 inches of rain through the next couple of days. So yeah. Lots of moisture. What's going on? Well, if you've paid attention to our long-range forecast at all, you know we've been talking in this date range about a Gulf of Mexico storm system. Enter the Gulf of Mexico storm system, right? That's the one that we're going to be tracking as it moves on through. And over the course of the next few days, it's moving on through. There it is now, right? Over the course of today, tonight, tomorrow, that old front kind of pivots around. That storm system will be moving through our area and eventually emerging off the east coast of Florida. Now, this is of note because if we were to take this and go even further, okay? Let's just take that and go even further out. Storm system moves into Florida. Okay, it's a water main. I saw that there was a flooding and a road closed in Volusia, but it's because of a water main break. So, okay. So there it is, east of us, lifting away and then lifting away. And some of the models are saying there's a window there, and we'll look at this. There's a window there that could see some tropical development. Now, my brother brings up a good question. I thought it was going to be more in the Panhandle. Remember, we highlight areas. We don't say exacts. So when you look at the overall forecast, that's the area that we highlighted from the Panhandle down through the Sun Coast. So, and there's your dates, right? Like May 20th through the 24th. That low has been sitting out in the Gulf the last few days. It does finally come in, but this is what we highlighted on March the 1st, right? Then you look beyond that. That's July, just after July 4th or so, and then kind of late August into September for the recycles. But it's happening exactly when we had illustrated it. Eventually, today into tomorrow, the thing's going to finally make its way ashore. But as it does so, we're going to be tracking those storms. Now, let me do this. Just give me a few seconds. I just want to do that. Do that. Okay. All right. So let's do this then. Let's take and look at the GFS. And this is important. Okay. It's not anything right now tropically. Like let's just illustrate that. All right. There's the surface map of it. Okay. It's nothing, okay? So there's that. But let's check the model, how, it kind of emerges off the Florida coastline. Top right corner of your screen, this is 12Z on Friday morning. So that's 8 a.m. Friday morning, okay? And right there, that's not a beast, but that's 1,001 millibar area of low pressure. If we switch modes and go over to wind gust, and we'll go to let's see. Yeah, you're talking gusts in South Carolina there. Look on the bottom right corner there. You're talking about gusts in South Carolina coming in. Let's see if let me go around to cities. Let's see. I'm just trying to find a good view here. Give me a few seconds. Give me a few seconds. Of course, my brain. Nope. What's a good coastal city that's on my list here of views? I don't make the view list, so I have to kind of work with what I'm given. All right, so there, I mean, that's a little too far. Boulder, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbia, no. Greensboro, no. All right, well, this is annoying. Jacksonville is a little too far south, so we're going to have to do... All right, let's just do regions then. That's fine. It's fine. I wanted to show the Carolinas, but that's fine. All right, southeast. So there you go, though. You can see, there's going to be some tropical storm force wind gusts. I mean, is it tropical in nature? We'll have to see, but at the very least, the GFS is showing this. If I were to switch over to the European, guess what? Even the European is showing some of those intense winds coming in as this thing comes in. So tropical or not, we'll have to wait and see. But there's a decent little storm that's heading toward the Carolinas these next couple of days, which this Gulf low part of the pattern that we have highlighted every single time that it has cycled through, it has gone through Florida and up into the Carolinas. And then after that, let me just switch this back around. After that, let's do pressure, anomaly. Let's do oceanic. We'll go back to the Caribbean. All right, so that's the European. We'll go back to the GFS. All right, so after that, then you're kind of watching. You see that area of low pressure there, that 10-12 low? It's not very strong, but that's the model trying to pick up on the Nicole part of the pattern. So whether or not it's strong, that remains to be seen. But there's storm. We know that there's stormy weather over Florida. Like that goes without any explanation, right? Like that goes without any explanation. But what we need to do is we need to be highlighting. If I was the Hurricane Center, I would be highlighting this off the East Coast. And I did. I did that more than a week ago. If you watched me Monday of last week on WESH 2 News, I showed this. And then I updated it to say this week. To me, we need to be highlighting this area as an area of interest in the tropics because the Carolinas are about to get something, even if it's not I don't think it'll be a hurricane. I don't even know that it'll be a tropical storm, but it's going to be, there's some nasty weather moving to the Carolinas. Jeremy and I discussed this yesterday on our Tracking the Tropics Tuesday deal. I mean, I'm very curious as to why the Hurricane Center isn't even at least putting a little blob there. Mike says, great, there goes all the milk, bread, and eggs available at the supermarkets. Don't know why North Carolina folks go buy all these items when a storm approaches. It's not going to be a big deal. Yeah, I looked at Charleston, Wilmington, Mike. That view didn't work. I'll have to figure it out. There wasn't a Myrtle Beach view, John. Yeah, that's what I was really wanting. So anyway, this kind of wet weather pattern is going to be something, I think, off of our East Coast. Even if it doesn't develop formally, it's going to be something. Janice, how much rain did we get in Oviedo last night? Yes. All right, so let's talk a little bit about rain numbers. Of course, it's not been updated. Hold on, I'll update it. That way because it'll drive me crazy otherwise. Rainfall today. Change this to rainfall yesterday. Hold on a second. This is the part of Coffee Talk where you don't get good TV. Rainfall yesterday, when I have to go just change a title so that I don't feel like I'm displaying wrong information. All right, so rainfall yesterday. Alafaya Woods, almost 5 inches of rain. I have no idea where Butler Ridge is, and I live in this kind of general area. But Butler Ridge got 4.5 inches of rain. Valencia College, 4.1. Waterford Lakes, about 3.5. At my house, let's see. Where am I at here? Tempest. I got 1.18 inches of rain at my house yesterday. So there you go. But there was flooding in Oviedo. Let me do this. Historical precipitation. Today's the 24th. So we'll go there and we'll go. All right. All right, so Oviedo area. It's loading. It's loading. We'll give it a second. All right, Oviedo, I see 2.85 inches of rain in Oviedo. But down by Waterford Lakes at WMFE, 4.5 inches of rain. From midnight to midnight. So, but obviously there could be some isolated areas like Tuscola Country Club, 2.5, 2.8 out near UC. Actually, it's more like Twin Rivers area. Yeah, 3 inches out in Avalon Park area. So, some decent rains there. What about today? Today, once again, a high coverage of rainfall. And somebody pointed out on Cats and Tats and Gats on Twitter, pointed out that even my brother Frank gets to have a little bit of the fun today. Look at that. Even the West Coast getting in on those areas. But for the rest of us, yeah, there you go. Plenty of rain in the forecast today. We need it. We'll take it. All right, let's see here. Questions, comments, concerns. Let's see here. Mike says, Cuban pork shoulder and monkey bread is a comfort food I make before storm approaches. What do you make? I make like a tree and leave because I'm at the office when those storms approach. As much as I would love to be home. Ryan says, I had 2.64 in Oviedo yesterday. Terry says, almost 2.5 since Monday here at my house in Dunellen. Love that. Debbie, no Coffee Talk Drive. We're in the busy season. Yeah, Coffee Talk Drive-Through is for the quiet season. We are into the busy season. Yep. Let's see here. Just had a very loud crack of thunder here, made me jump. Yeah, there's already thunderstorms bubbling up, right? Volusia County particularly. Let's zoom into Daytona Beach, and you see those dots. I'll turn the radar off for just a minute. Those dots, I'll loop it. Actually, I'll just make them big, just for the sake of like this conversation here. Come on, what are we doing? What are you doing? Why are you being a putz? This is actually odd. There we go. Okay. All right. Lightning. Let me just make lightning big. Size. I'll just make there's the dots. So I'll zoom in. I made it big just for illustration purposes, but you could see those dots. Those dots are lightning strikes. So we keep them small because oftentimes we get so many thunderstorms in the area, but there you go. There's some decent lightning as our live radar sweeps back through. The good news is we're not talking about decent wind. I mean, it's, 15, maybe some wind gusts in there around Embry-Riddle, but just some good, steady, heavy downpours. All right, so where are we going from here? Tina, sorry about the thunder and lightning this morning. So where are we going from here? Today, it's a 70% coverage of showers and thunder showers, 60% coverage for tomorrow, 50% coverage for Friday, and then look at how interesting this forecast gets. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we go dry. Now, does that mean that we've entered into the rainy season? I mean, it may make some tweaks, but it's not the norm that we get a dry weather pattern for Memorial Day weekend. So what's going on here, huh? What's up? Well, we've got ourselves some dry air on the backside of this low. Yeah. It's the models are trying to deepen that low over the Carolinas, and as that happens, we're going to get subsidence or drier air on the backside. That means our Memorial Day weekend actually looks quite dry. Not very normal that happens, but there you go. Annie says, hubby said there were 3 cars in a ditch on I-4 this morning. Oh, geez. Hope everybody's okay. Ay. Mickey says that typhoon hitting Guam, though. Yeah, that's a beast. That's definitely a beast. For those of you curious about it, into the tropics, not here, but to Guam we go. Give it a second to load. Mawar. Winds are at 110, and there's kind of the forecast. I told Kellyanne the icons were wrong, and Kellyanne didn't fix them, so give me a second. I'll fix them. Interesting. Stand by. I'm curious as to regions. Oh, because this is a different region. Who knew that was a thing? That's funny. Okay, I get it. I didn't even know that. Well, we'll leave it there for now. That's fine. At any rate, that's there. That is not a threat to us in Central Florida. As a matter of fact, when it comes to, obviously it's not a threat to Central Florida. When it comes to the tropical Atlantic basin, though, no development expected over the next 7 days. I disagree. I would say there's no development expected, but I would say, honestly, and this is not a knock on our friends at the Hurricane Center, I would say that there's an area of interest, though. And this is something we chatted a little bit about yesterday. Like, it's great that the Hurricane Center is doing these 7-day outlooks, but you need to highlight things that at least are of interest. Because my concern is by the Hurricane Center saying, no development expected the next 7 days. What happens when this coastal storm works to the Carolinas? Which, even if it doesn't develop and moves that direction, it's still going to be a thing. So I don't know. Kelly says, leave Kellyanne alone. I'm texting her now. Oh, listen, I texted her that it was the wrong icon. She says she threw it together quickly, and then I realized that the icons are different for the different tropical basins. Like, what? It's another thing for me to work on. When we eventually get a new graphics package, whenever that is, I'll have plenty of new tweaks. Yeah. Actually, according to my watch, I'm barely alive. Chris, I hope that's not the case. Brian, how can you tell if a stormy weather pattern is a recycle from a previous tropical storm or hurricane versus a normal rainy season storm pattern? Well, because in the recycles, those usually, the weather cycling happens outside of the rainy season, for one, for us. But number two, you're looking for bigger features, right? When it comes to like our hurricane season forecast, for an example, we were tracking lows all over the place, right? So yeah, it's there, each low positioning has a date there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And just, Janice, that's just the way that they are. It comes down to like before there was joint communication, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Yeah. You know what? It's just my struggle is like, is the Hurricane Center sending out the wrong message? But I'm curious. We'll have to get the Hurricane Center on. We'll have to get somebody from the Hurricane Center on just to understand, like, what does it take for them to put a 10%? Because to me, that low in the corner there, that's crossing Florida and is going to be moving toward the Carolinas. All the models are saying it's going to be a nasty day. Is it going to be a hurricane day? No. But could it be a tropical depression or a tropical storm with gusts to 50? That's what many of the models have been consistently saying for several runs, many runs. And I'm not being a hyper. I'm just this is what it is, y'all. I when I was chatting with Jamie Rome, the deputy director from the Hurricane Center, I listened to what he had to say at the Hurricane Conference, and he was all about computer models with perspective. And I'm all about that. And so it's going to make me do things a little differently, and I hope that it's going to give me a position of serving you all better. But the models are saying, it's Wednesday. The models are saying that there's something that may develop. Put a blob in there. I don't know. All I can do is what I can do, though, right? That's all I can do. All right, enough of that. 7-day forecast, people. Stormy, stormy, stormy today, but starting to transition drier Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And my kids will be glad about that. They're ready to go in the swimming pool. Works for me. All right, and then through Memorial Day, looking beautiful. The unofficial start to summer. But let us remember these next few days what Memorial Day is. Why is it a thing? Why is it a holiday? To remember those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. Yeah. Mickey on YouTube says, better to have a 10% blob and it not happen than no blob and a storm hits. That's my thing. We're forecasters. Like, the models are saying it. Meteorologically, the water temperatures in the Gulf Stream are there. What are we waiting on? And I'm not attacking the Hurricane Center, but I want to know. We all do our forecasts to the rules, limitations, etc. that we have, and they do a darn good job there. But we've upped from a 5-day outlook to a 7-day outlook, and so now it's just not good optics. And this is another reason why, I'm grateful that I've been in the business a while, because if I was a young kid in the weather game, I would not feel comfortable saying, tropical weather outlook says nothing, so there's nothing. Now I'm like, y'all, there's an area of interest there. The Hurricane Center isn't saying that anything's expected, but I'm telling you that there's something interesting. Such is life. All right. That's all I got. Any questions, comments, concerns? John's asking, is your friend meteorologist in Savannah warning his viewers about the Carolina low? Yeah, he and I did our Tracking the Tropics thing yesterday. And we were talking about it then. Yeah. Asking because I know you help with this. What's WTAE in Pittsburgh have 4 + 4 or more because they're Channel 4? I'm confused, Kelly. Is that a question? I'm so confused. Carla, where's Stella? She's laying down in the other room. She's taking it easy. By the way, folks, Jeremy's dog is a male, so Stella's out for a name. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. All right, that's all I got for you, people. We're going to be tracking more heavy rainfall today, some soaking rains around, all that fun stuff. All right, let's stay dialed in. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I'll be tweeting and Facebooking and all that stuff. Oh, and chatting with all staff about hurricane season today and doing barbecue stuff. So, yeah, good times. All right, be good, y'all. See you at 3:30. Take care.